Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Foundry. I am JB here with Sly, and today we're reviewing another episode of The Last of Us. We're on episode 2, Infected, and yeah, we're moving a little bit slow on these reviews. We apologize, guys. We've been really busy with work and whatnot, but you know what? You guys are getting them. But Sly, how you doing today, bud?
Doing spectacular, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, man, because we were just actually kind of having a little chit-chat before we started, and we're like, there's not exactly too much to talk about in comparison to a lot of the MCU shows that we've done, or Star Wars, you know what? And I'm okay with that, because I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying the show thoroughly. I don't have, like, a ton of complaints or anything, but I'm just... Maybe it's because, like, I don't have a lot of stakes, and I'm not, like, super connected or super, like, big Last of Us junkies, you know? But I'm just, like, enjoying it. It's a solid show.
It is. Maybe another reason why it's kind of just very cut and dry for us is we've played the game, so we do know the outcome of everything.
Yeah.
As opposed to somebody who this is all new, they're taking it in for the first time.
Yeah. Are you still watching with your girlfriend?
I am. Yes.
Yeah. It's like kind of insane too. It's like, oh, I know exactly what's coming up, so you just kind of sit there and stare at her reaction because I'm doing the exact same thing.
I kind of have to try and play it off like I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're gonna do. Like, oh, we're in uncharted territory. I'm like,
yep.
Oh shit, I never saw that coming.
And then they're like, oh shit, I can't believe that character that happened to them. Like, oh yeah, it's wild, isn't it? That I knew it was gonna happen for the past hour and a fucking half. Like it's kind of like. It's interesting to see, like, just watching their face to see their reaction on it.
Don't get me wrong, this show definitely it does some things pretty different than the game. Can't say I love all the things they do different, but some of the decisions make sense. Some of them are a little weird.
Yeah.
I think this episode, one of the biggest changes is I know the games had the spores, and the show kind of got rid of that. But it instead kind of replaced it with like this tendril thing. It's like a hive mind. How did you feel about that?
I felt like it was, I don't know, because I thought they mentioned the spores in that episode at the very beginning. Like I thought they were talking about the spores, being like, oh, see, it's all crusted out and it's dead now, So I thought the spores were still an existing thing, and then they kind of didn't really talk about it again. But maybe that I am just confusing and crossing my knowledge, but yeah, the tendrils and the fungus thing, like it kind of makes sense, but like there's no way like the stuff is like what's spreading it, like it.
Yeah,
I mean, like for it to live, like it has to go off of a host though.
That's the thing for me. I'm like, okay, it's one thing how like the it may be like there's life in the earth, I get that, but like how the undead are able to like trigger off of that's a whole other thing. I'm like, I don't get this weird sonar thing. I get the clicker thing, I get that, but this little like activate the bat signal for like runners and clickers,
and then like 100 other infected in the area know what's up. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you could argue it's like their little encounter with the clickers, like if they have the hive mind kind of thing like that, and could they not just like warn other? I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just kind of like, don't question it, move on. But I know exactly what you're referring to towards the end after they hit the Firefly checkpoint and they accidentally encounter and kind of wake up. I don't even know if that person was awake or if they were dead or
yeah,
what.
So essentially he was alive. Well, obviously dead because he's turned, but he moved over just in time to like get to like a crack in the floor where there was like earth. And one of those little veins, I guess you could call it. And he literally just put his finger or whatever in there so his tendril could, like, activate it and let everyone nearby know, like, hey, shit's going down here. Come eat these guys' brains.
Weird.
It's like, okay, well, that's unusual. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that end scene later, though. The clicker reveal. How did you feel about that?
I was a big fan. I really enjoyed it. I just wish that we had encounter with other infected first before that, so you could see, like, because these guys are supposed to be like extremely deadly. Not everyone encounters them. It's kind of like it's a myth, it's a legend. Not everyone knows what a clicker is, like how they are, and it's like doesn't really. I feel like it'd be a better measure if we saw like a shitty infected first, beforehand.
Yeah.
Like them, like Joel and Ellie. Oh, they just smash a couple of heads beforehand, easy peasy. But it's like the first encounter with infected they have, and they're like fucking doofuses.
Yep. I was really hoping we'd have stuff that would like build up, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. Maybe like it should have been just like here a couple clicks, and then maybe like a shimmer of light over their face, and they escape and they don't kill it. Like that would have been way fucking cooler. But
yeah. Another big thing I was kind of bummed out. I'm waiting for the game references to come through in the show. Like they start crafting something with the backpack, or he's like, "Hey, can you grab me some nails or a scissor?" Or the other thing, this is a big one for me, dude. Pick up a brick or a bottle.
Exactly.
I was like, "Come on, just do it, please. Throw something or like have a noise in the distance."
I did notice like when they were creeping around the clickers when they were hunting them, that they're feeling like their hands were on the wall, feeling as they're like kind of crouching across like certain objects and stuff, which is kind of interesting, like they do in the show. I thought that was cool. I gotta say my favorite first like couple scenes was in the very beginning of the episode with the flashback to 2003 when the infection just hit where it originated from in Indonesia. That was probably my favorite scene of the entire episode. I just like that. Yeah. It was kind of. You ever seen the movie Contagion?
No.
With the bad guy from Captain Marvel. What the hell is his name?
Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law's in it.
He's the bad guy in everything, dude.
Yeah.
He could be the hero in his own movie, and he's still the villain.
Jude Law is fantastic, though. Yeah, it's that movie's great, and they talk about kind of viruses and stuff like that and how fast they spread. But it was a really cool flashback, and they showed the severity of that situation and how this expert on the fungus is just like straight up like, oh, just nuke everything, just bomb as much as possible. I'm gonna go and spend time with my family. I'm like, wow, that really puts it in perspective of like how fucked up and how fast everything got mixed up. Because immediately they're like, oh yeah, they only been infected for like a day or something. And she's like, oh, okay, like, well, how many other people are missing? They're like, 20. And she's like, oh, yeah, we're done. Okay, done.
And the guy's like, how can we treat this? And his mouth is just wide open when she's like, bomb. And he's just like, what? Like, and I'm looking at this from the point of like, doctor, they always want to preserve lives.
Exactly.
And her solution is literally, you're going to want to bomb the shit out of everybody.
That's how you save lives.
Now, can I go home and be with my family before you bomb the shit out of everybody? I'd like to die with my family, pretty much. And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I thought it was like kind of, it was very impactful. You could see how serious everything was, and just like it was like, damn, dude. I thought that was pretty sweet. That was pretty good. First little opening scene.
Yeah, adding something that like wasn't originally there. Like it's adding more like overall depth to the show, which I appreciate.
Yeah, so a lot of the episode was just kind of Joel, Ellie, and Tess just working their way through abandoned Boston. You could just see just how decrepit everything was. Them talking about like their previous runs and how they're experienced smugglers. They know the area, but not super well. Like they haven't been there in a while. And them just trying to make their way through the Firefly checkpoint to drop Ellie off. I really liked the clicker reveal. Like I said, like I wasn't big on it because I feel like they kind of got presented as doofuses.
Yeah.
Which like the clickers they've got to be really fucking hard to kill. Like they're very scary and shit.
Trust me, when I first played The Last of Us, they were difficult as shit because I was like, man, you either get the drop on them or you don't.
Yeah, you fucking get insta
There's
killed.
no in between. This might be just a little itty bitty pet peeve of mine. But it's carrying over from the end of the first episode. I was massively irritated by the fact that they gave Joel a fully automatic assault weapon.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, I want to see him literally scrounging for shit, not having a full 30-round mag, M16, where he's wasting ammo in clickers tum-tums. Like, no, come on, man.
Yeah, it's that's why I was saying, like, it's just like you had the prize, you had the magnum opus, you had the holy grail in your hand to defend yourself, and you wasted it. Oh, yeah, for real. It's kind of like I said, I feel like their encounter was really lame, but I mean, like the introduction was really cool. Like, you got to see how
it was the setup. The setup is what the highlight was for this episode.
It was very spooky. I like how it just kind of one turned into two, and it was just like you just took off from there. And once Joel and Tess got separated, you just fucking knew.
Oh, you knew.
Yep.
You knew.
Yeah, you knew.
Don't get me wrong. my Ariana did not know.
Yep.
She was just kind of like, oh, where is she? I'm like, oh, nowhere. She'll come back. She's fine.
Yeah, she's gonna make it to California in no time.
Yeah. She's actually on her way to Tahiti as we speak.
Yeah, I just wish they fought like some smaller, weaker first, you know, to show the power and the strength, the difference. Because I feel like that's a weird thing to do, is to show like the best infected, the like. It's like when you play like Left 4 Dead too. Like the first zombie you fight isn't a tank, right?
Yeah. Duh. Yeah.
It's like that's your boss level kind of thing. Like that's
progression.
Yeah. Exactly like how
they rushed a lot of things. Actually, I feel like Tess got a very, very, very short storyline.
Yeah, which they wrote her really well in my opinion. Like I don't like Tess. She's gross and kind of gritty. I don't like her as a person, but I mean like she's really well fucking written and really detailed. And Anya Tarv, I think that's her last name, or Anna Tarv. Like I think she does a good job like as her, you know. But like I just don't really like her. She kind of grosses me out. She just looks like a dirty girl.
She does look like she'd work at the Waffle House. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, like night shift Waffle House kind of thing, you know?
No.
Exactly. She'd be gumming throughout the night to fucking keep the shakes off. Yeah, so they end up finding out the Firefly checkpoint is completely like abandoned. Not abandoned, but everyone's killed off there. Everyone's dead. There's a couple people who probably got infected and they killed each other and stuff, and then they accidentally wake up a dead infected guy, and then you just hear hordes coming, a giant swarm of them. And then Tess gives the big reveal, like, I'm infected! And everyone's freaking out, which is really shitty. It sucks, you know?
It sucked, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, damn, dude. It's like, we all knew it was happening, but no one wanted to see it because it's like, damn, now Joel is, like, stuck with this, like, baggage that he doesn't want anything to do with. And, man, this episode, Ellie was kind of fucking annoying, too. I don't mean to talk shit on the shovel girl, but, yeah, she was kind of annoying.
The shovel girl.
Yeah.
No, she was pretty rough to stand. My biggest gripe, honestly, though, aside from Ellie, you know, being obnoxious, it's the ending for Tess. I fucking hated that.
Dude, I was like, you fucking moron, you moron! Like you throw it out, like so. Tess' idea is like, oh, go! I'm gonna sacrifice myself. I'm gonna sacrifice myself. You guys go ahead. Joel and Ellie run out the back door. Stand there, wait. I'm like, you fucking idiots. And then it cuts back to the inside of this, like, big-ass fucking nice government building. And there's just, like, infected, run by, infected, run by, run by, run by. And she's just standing there, and everyone's, like, and she's just, like, waiting. And there's all these,
lighter.
I know, there's all these grenades on the ground. There's all this, like, gasoline all over the place. And she's trying to light a lighter to, like, light this gasoline. And I'm like, dude, you've got all this explosive. You've got a way to ignite the round. You have a gun on you. Shoot the gasoline. There's so many ways you can ignite this spark. And, like, there's probably, like, 50 zombies that run out the back door, like, to Joel and Ellie, who are just standing outside.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is piss poor right here. Like,
massively shitty writing.
Yeah, and then it was, like, the weirdest fucking thing to where, like, before they give you a short little cut to the swarm. And you see them all just laying down. And give you a close-up of this guy, like, in a nice suit. And he's got a weird mushroom head where he's, like, evolving almost into a clicker. And he's in the big swarm at the end. And he walks up to her. And she's just kind of standing there trying to fiddle with this lighter and trying to get a spark out of it. And he walks up to her. And he kisses her. And, like, a weird little tentacle thing comes out of his mouth into her mouth. And I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, he literally tongue kissed her with the little mouth tendrils that they're doing. And I was like, I honestly would have been happier if they just cut to Joel and Ellie outside and the building blew up. I didn't want any of this bullshit because it irritated me and it ruined the episode for me.
It was just a really awkward scene. I don't know what they were trying to achieve with it.
Kiss of death type bullshit. I don't know. It's just so freaking, like, corny and cliche and overdone and then just awkward to have this happening, and then she finally gets the lighter to work and drops it. And it's like you pointed out, you've got grenades there. You have a gun. You have literally numerous ways of blowing your fucking place up.
Yeah, it minimizes her sacrificing herself a little bit by seeing her, like, last bit of life is being squandered and fucking sexually assaulted by a zombie. I didn't want to know that about her, you know?
No.
remember her
honestly,
as the
video
Waffle
game-
House queen, you know?
Yeah, video game ending for her, in my opinion, I like it much more.
Yeah. Because that was in the video game, Fedra came, right? And it was a shootout.
Yeah, Fedra shows up and she's just like, "This is my last stop. I'm gonna kill a few of these sons of bitches, and hopefully they get me too."
Yeah,
And she gets her wish, but she's a badass.
Yeah.
Here, she's just kind of like, "Yeah, I'm gonna let you, you know, stick your little radish little tendrils down my mouth, and I'm just gonna die weird." Yeah.
It was very weird. It was very
hated it.
fucking weird. Yeah, I didn't even know what the fuck to think about it, just because I don't know what they were going for.
I was kind of just confused for like the rest of the.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know, but I do like the practical effects for all the zombies. Shit looks class. I'm a fan of it. Running zombies are terrifying. I remember watching like Dawn of the Dead remake, the 2004 movie, and that movie is very scary. 28 days, 28 weeks later, very scary. Fast running zombies are spooky as shit. But yeah, I like the episode. Should we give a number rating for this?
I think it's time for a number rating.
What did I get the last one? Like a 9, I think.
9. You gave it a 9.
Oh shit, this is probably like.
I think I gave it a 7 last time.
I'm gonna have to give this like a 6.
I'm gonna have to give this a 5. I'm glad we're kind of in the general direction on this one.
Like I still didn't have a ton wrong with it, but I thought it was okay.
It wasn't a bad episode, but it rushed things along. It made some really stupid fucking choices.
Yeah.
It had so much potential. It had the tools.
Yeah.
It just didn't use them.
I mean, yeah, it definitely has a tool. It's got a whole fucking video game. Just do what the video
fact that,
game
like,
does, and you're good.
Your favorite part of the episode is the scene from 2003 without the main character.
That's because me, as my own person, I just like that kind of whole like seeing the world spiral out. You know,
Yeah.
like I like seeing like the bureaucratic like stakes and what the procedures and steps are. You know, kind of thing like that.
Yeah,
I
but,
do
like,
like
that
that.
helps
kind of
set the tone. That was a critical part of the episode. Was it necessary? No, but did it add to it? Hell yeah, it did.
Yeah. That's a really good point. That wasn't necessarily critical, but like it added a whole lot to it, and a short amount of time as well for characters that we've never fucking met before. But
Yep.
like it's weird, right? Because it's like got really good points in writing, and then it's got like kind of really shoddy parts. Like when Ellie opens her mouth, like I get it, she's a kid. Joel is supposed to be annoyed by her, but is she supposed to be annoying to the viewer too? I mean, like, do you not want your two main characters that are going to be sticking with you for the entire show, like, to be likable? And I think that I hope moving forward, they don't think that it's like it's funny, like how annoying she is, you know? No, I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear her talk. Like I don't want to minimize the main character, The Last of Us, who is Ellie, you know? I don't want to shove her to the side and let the big kids, like the adults who can act right and who are written well. I don't want to do that. Like I want good writing from her character, but it's just like so far it's just like she's just written as an annoying kid, and that's how she's like portrayed, which is like I hope that they like fucking pull out some punches like later in this. It's only episode 2, but it's just like, man, come on.
She's got a long way to go.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I liked episode 1 quite a bit too, is because they just didn't have a lot of Ellie in it. But that's not her personality. She's just not an annoying kid, you know? There's more to her. And they really didn't like a lot of that there. Also, the chicken sandwich thing was pretty funny.
The chicken sandwich thing was the only funny bit for me, honestly.
Yeah,
the mimicking the infected thing was kind of like, okay, yeah.
It's just annoying kid type of shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be our episode 2 review, you guys. You know, if you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, show some love, spread the link, you know, show your friends some Foundry stuff. But we'll see you guys later on the next review of some more Last of Us. But until then, bye, guys.
Bye.